Dutch Hanson's voice cracked like a bullwhip across the backlot. Too slow, too clumsy. Maybe this isn't for you, kid. The words hit Jerome Phillips square in the chest. His shoulders caved inward, breath catching somewhere between his ribs and throat. Sweat traced lines down his temples, but it wasn't just the California sun baking the asphalt beneath his feet. Imagine standing there, exposed, while every eye weighed whether you deserved to exist in that space. The crew scattered their gazes. One cameraman adjusted his lens. Another studied the dirt under his fingernails, anything but witness the humiliation unfolding 10 feet away. Dutch stepped closer, boots grinding against hot pavement. The smell of tar and stale cigarettes hung between them. Jerome's hands trembled. He curled them into fists, but the shake traveled up his forearms anyway. 22 years old, and this was supposed to be his break, his chance. 30 yards away, Bruce Lee froze mid-stride. His jaw tightened. Muscles in his neck went taut as suspension cables. He'd heard that tone before, aimed at himself, at others who didn't fit Hollywood's narrow mold. Few men would risk inserting themselves into another coordinator's business on a studio lot, but what Bruce did next would change everything. Bruce's boots struck the asphalt with the rhythm of a verdict. Heat shimmered off the concrete, baking through his soles. 30 yards became 20, 15. The crew's murmurs died as he approached. Dutch turned, eyes tracking the movement. Bruce stopped 3 feet from Jerome and looked past him entirely. "Can I see the sequence you're asking him to do?" His voice carried no challenge, just inquiry. Dutch's jaw shifted. His eyes narrowed to slits, irritation flashing like struck flint. "You want to see it? Please." Few could read what moved behind Bruce's eyes, but his stillness spoke louder than confrontation. Dutch stepped back, rolling his shoulders. "Fine." "Watch," he launched upward, a vertical jump, clean and explosive. Midair, his body twisted into a spinning back kick that whipped through empty space. The moment his light foot touched ground, he collapsed forward into a shoulder roll across the crash mat. No pause, no setup, no breath between transitions. The demonstration lasted 4 seconds. Bruce stood motionless. His gaze traced the arc of movement, the timing gaps, the physical impossibility coded into the choreography. His expression remained unreadable, but his fingers twitched once at his side. Dutch straightened, breathing hard, satisfied. Bruce's silence stretched longer, and longer still. Then he spoke words that would shatter the afternoon into pieces. Bruce's voice cut through the heat like a blade through silk. "That's a 3-skill combination with no set-up time." Each word measured, calm. "You're setting him up to fail." Dutch's neck flushed crimson, the color spreading upward from his collar. His jaw shifted sideways, grinding molars audible in the sudden vacuum of sound. "I've been coordinating stunts for 15 years. The words came sharp, clipped. "Don't tell me my job." Bruce didn't move, didn't blink. His stillness somehow louder than Dutch's rising volume. "The physics don't allow it," Bruce continued. "The shoulder roll requires forward momentum. The kick bleeds it vertical. He'd need 0.75 seconds minimum to redirect." Dutch's fists opened and closed at his sides. Around them, the crew had frozen mid-task. A lighting technician held a cable suspended in air. Jerome stood 10 feet away, chest rising and falling too fast. "You think because you did a couple movies." "I think," Bruce interrupted, voice dropping lower, more dangerous, "that expertise means knowing when choreography serves the story. And when it serves your ego." The asphalt seemed to vibrate with unspoken challenge. Somewhere behind the equipment trucks a door slammed, but no one moved, no one breathed. Dutch stepped forward, closing the distance between them to nothing, and what happened next would force every witness to choose a side. Bruce's voice cut through the silence, calm and surgical. "Then do your job, which is making your stuntmen successful, not destroying their confidence." Dutch's jaw clenched, the muscle twitched beneath stubble. He stepped forward, close. Too close, Bruce could smell the stale cigarettes on his breath, the sweat soaking through cotton beneath the California heat. Dutch's chest nearly brushed his own. a physical challenge wrapped in professional dispute. The coordinator's eyes blazed with something beyond irritation, desperation, maybe, or fear dressed as rage. "You're a guest here, Bruce." Each word landed heavy, deliberate. "Stay in your lane." The crew shifted behind them. Someone's boot scraped concrete. A camera assistant held his breath. Jerome stood frozen at the edge of the rehearsal space, hands trembling at his sides. Bruce didn't retreat, didn't blink. His body remained still, but every nerve calculated distance, angle, intent. He'd faced men like Dutch before, men who weaponized proximity because their arguments collapsed under scrutiny. Men who confused volume with authority. "My lane," Bruce said quietly, "is excellence." Dutch's fist curled. But before either man could move, a voice boomed across the lot, sharp, commanding, carrying the weight of final authority. "What's happening here?" Director Alan Shapiro emerged from the soundstage doors, and everything changed. Bruce didn't retreat. The cigarette stench from Dutch's breath still hung in the inches between them, but his voice came out level, surgical. "My lane is watching someone get humiliated for a coordinator's bad choreography." Dutch's fist curled tighter. The crew held their breath, then footsteps, sharp, deliberate, echoed across the concrete. Director Alan Shapiro emerged from Soundstage 7, script rolled in one hand, sunglasses pushed up into silver hair. He moved like authority itself, cutting through the standoff without hesitation. "What's happening here?" Not a question, a demand. Bruce turned, shoulders squared. Dutch designed a three-skill combination with no transition time. Jump to spinning kick to shoulder roll. No setup, no breathing room. He's asking Jerome to execute what's, physically unsafe. Shapiro's gaze shifted to Dutch, then Jerome, still frozen by the crash mats, then back to Dutch. The director's jaw tightened, a muscle jumping beneath tanned skin. "That right," Dutch's face darkened. "It's standard, demonstrate it, Dutch." The words landed like a gavel. Silence swallowed the backlot. Somewhere distant, a truck engine idled. Jerome's eyes widened. The crew shifted, suddenly alert. Dutch stood motionless, trapped between pride and physics, and everyone knew what came next would expose one of them completely. Dutch rolled his shoulders twice. His jaw worked like he was chewing gravel. The crew pressed closer, forming a half circle around the crash mat. Jerome stood at the edge, arms wrapped tight across his chest. Dutch backed up 3 steps. Measured the distance. His boots scraped asphalt. He launched forward. The jump cleared the mark. His body twisted midair, leg whipping around for the spinning kick. It connected nothing but humid California air. Gravity claimed him too early. His shoulder angled wrong for the roll, 45 degrees off axis. The concrete met his spine with a sound like a bat hitting leather. Christ, his curse cut short as momentum dragged him across rough concrete. Skin scraped. He sprawled flat, one hand clutching his lower back. No one moved. Somewhere beyond the soundstage, a forklift beeped. Twice. 25 years of stunt work exposed in 8 seconds. Shapiro descended the 3 metal stairs from the soundstage platform. His dress shoes clicked each step. He stopped 2 feet from where Dutch struggled upright, breathing hard through his nose. "Bruce is right," 3 words, delivered flat. "No anger, no sympathy. Simplify the sequence. Jerome runs it tomorrow with proper transitions." Shapiro turned to his assistant director. "Rewrite the shot list for the modified choreography." Dutch limped toward the equipment truck. His right leg dragged slightly. Crew members parted like water, eyes tracking his retreat. No one offered help. No one spoke. Jerome stood exactly where he'd been the entire confrontation. His hands trembled against his ribs. Relief flooded through him so fast his knees weakened. He locked them straight, forcing his body still. Bruce hadn't moved from his position near the crash mat, watching, waiting. And Jerome suddenly understood. This moment wasn't the ending Dutch thought it was. Jerome found Bruce beside the equipment truck, away from the dispersing crew. The asphalt still radiated afternoon heat beneath his sneakers. "Thank you." His voice came out unsteady, rougher than he wanted, "for standing up for me." Everyone else just watched. Bruce turned, met his eyes without blinking. The connection felt physical, like a hand steadying him. "I've been where you are," Bruce said, each word deliberate, measured. "Told I'm not good enough when the people judging didn't understand what they were seeing." Jerome's throat tightened. The relief he'd felt watching Dutch fail suddenly transformed into something heavier: recognition. The question escaped before he could stop it. Every studio lot in this city. Bruce's jaw shifted. Too Chinese, wrong accent, not American enough. He paused, and Jerome heard the weight of years in that silence. They make you prove yourself 10 times over for what they give others on reputation alone. The words landed like stones dropping into still water, ripples spreading outward. Jerome had assumed Bruce Lee, famous, sought after, untouchable, existed beyond the discrimination Jerome faced daily. But Bruce's eyes held a knowledge that couldn't be faked. "How do you?" Jerome started. Then Bruce's expression changed, hardened into something Jerome couldn't quite read. Jerome's fingers twisted against his palms. "Dutch has been on my case since day one." Bruce nodded once, sharp. The concrete beneath their feet still radiated afternoon heat, baking through their shoes. "Because you're different. Black in a white industry, same as I'm Chinese." The words landed with the weight of fact, not sympathy. "He's testing whether you'll break," Bruce continued. His voice dropped lower, quieter. Around them, equipment trucks rumbled to life, crew members shouting about wrap time. But the noise felt distant, muffled. Jerome swallowed, tasted dust and defeat. "How do I handle it?" Bruce's eyes locked onto his. No hesitation, no philosophical detour. "Be so good he can't deny you." 6 words, simple, brutal. Jerome opened his mouth, closed it. The answer felt too plain, impossible. "That's it, that's everything." Bruce shifted his weight, stance widening slightly. Fighter's instinct. "Excellence isn't optional for people like us, it's survival." The sound of Dutch's voice carried from across the lot, loud, dismissive, still barking orders at someone else. Jerome's jaw tightened. "And when excellence isn't enough?" he asked. Bruce's expression changed, darkened. "Then you learn what I learned the hard way." 2 years later, Jerome Phillips stood on Soundstage 12, a clipboard in his hand that no longer trembled. Lead stunt coordinator. The title felt strange in his mouth, solid against his tongue. 5 younger stuntmen watched him from the crash mat's edge, white faces catching the overhead lamps. He demonstrated the sequence slowly. Jump, spin, pause, then the shoulder roll. 3 distinct movements. "You feel the difference." Jerome's voice carried the same steady cadence Bruce Lee had used that afternoon on the backlot. "Each skill gets its own breath. Rush them together, you'll eat concrete." A blonde kid nodded, sweat darkening his collar. "Can you show it full speed?" Jerome moved. His body remembered everything Dutch Hansen had tried to break, everything Bruce had rebuilt. The combination flowed like water, precise and controlled. He landed clean. The crew applauded. But Jerome caught something in the shadows beyond the lights. A silhouette near the soundstage door, arms crossed, too far to see clearly. Yet the posture triggered recognition. The tilt of the head, the defensive stance. His stomach tightened. The figure stepped forward into the spill of yellow light, and Jerome's breath caught. Dutch Hansen smiled, holding a production binder with tomorrow's call sheet clipped to the front. Dutch Hansen's hand extended first, weathered and trembling slightly. "I came to say I was wrong." The words hung in stale soundstage air. Jerome felt his chest tighten, but his own hand moved forward. The grip was brief, awkward, decades of poison draining through that single touch. Dutch left without ceremony, his limp still visible. Jerome exhaled slowly. Bruce Lee had been right. Excellence didn't erase hatred, it outlasted it. Decades later, Jerome told the story to a documentary crew. Gray threaded his temples now, his voice carrying the texture of hard-earned wisdom. The camera lights heated his face, but his hands remained steady on the armrests. "Bruce Lee taught me that excellence is the best response to prejudice." He didn't just defend me that day. The memory surfaced vivid: asphalt heat, Dutch's humiliation, Bruce's unwavering gaze. He showed me how to defend myself forever. Jerome leaned forward, eyes sharp despite the years. Every stuntman I trained, every sequence I broke down into teachable pieces. That was Bruce speaking through me, not revenge, legacy. The interviewer asked if he'd forgiven Dutch Hansen. Jerome's smile was complicated, earned. I chose to be better than what tried to break me. That's what Bruce gave me. That's what I pass on.